Hey guys, it's RebeccaLynOberstadt. In today's video, I'm going to be swatching out the Nomad Cosmetics Marrakesh palette. This was one of the 4 palettes that I got in that bundle when I made my purchase for the Tokyo palette. I will be doing double swatches for each of these shades like I normally do. I will also be doing video inside as well as outside. I have my Fabletics cloth here ready to remove swatches off my fingers, and I have a towel in my lap to dry my hands on just to be on the safe side so we don't get any wet swatches. And if you guys want, at the end I will do a swatch with a wet finger so you can see what it looks like color difference wise, pigmentation wise. This is a palette of a mix of satin and shimmer and matte shades. So the formula, unlike with the Tokyo palette where it had like a row and a row and a row that were split up that you could definitively see, this palette is kind of like a mix of all of the formulas in one. So like you have a matte here, you have a shimmer, a shimmer, a shimmer, and like a satin shade. So they're intermixed throughout the palette, and I will also be doing a swatch comparison video of this next, comparing it to the Jaclyn Hill palette because I got to looking at it and some of the shades in here are very similar. So we will be doing a comparison between the two as well, and that'll be the next video I record today. So hopefully you guys like these swatch videos. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is the shade Hammam, Golden Mosque, and Desert Sands. I actually have a single of this shadow. This one here is basically the color of my skin, so it's just a little bit darker than my skin tone. And it is a satin shade, and then you've got a metallic and a metallic. And their metallic shades do feel like wet. Because I have a scrawny arm, I gotta clean up my overages. So there's the first 3. Then we have Café au Rebe, Jardin Majorelle, Turmeric. So we have a metallic shade with a little bit of glitter and then 2 matte shades. Fighting with the arm here. These matte shades feel super soft. That blue looks a little patchy. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that blue. I mean, the pigmentation's there, but the swatch is not doing too hot. Could also be the arm hair factor. So there's the next 3. Then we have Henna, Spice Market, and Persian Rose. So Henna is like a satin shade, Spice Market is a metallic, and then Persian Rose is also a metallic shade. And I'll do one more on the top and then I'll start on the bottom. And we have Oasis of Riyadh, Argan Fruit, and Sweet Aubergine. And because I'm fixing to go to another row, I'm going to do a double swatch of this one real quick. That yellow shade is a satin. And then Sweet Aubergine is a matte. And the Oasis shade is also, it's like a metallic. This Sweet Aubergine looks patchy, but when I used it on the eye, it didn't look patchy. I will link the first impression video of this in the description box if you want to see me use it. I actually did 4 looks in one video where I took it from like daytime neutral to like going out with friends or drinks or whatever you guys do after you leave work. Then we have Red City, which is also a matte, the Souks, and Palmeraie, I think is how you pronounce that. Touch the palette, yep. This is a matte. It's a really pretty like orange shade. Oh, that's pretty. I didn't use these shades, so you can tell I'm like, oh, I like that one. And the air finally went off. That sucker was running for 20 minutes solid. I will never not run the air conditioner in this house because if I turn it off just to film, then everybody in the house suffers. So there's all of the swatches. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean my fingers off. And then I'm going to not dry them off, and then I'm going to pick up a couple of shades to show you the difference in a dry swatch versus a wet swatch. So my fingers are damp. I'm going into this Jardine shade. We'll do Spice Market and Argan Fruit, just to show you the pigmentation difference with a wet finger. And this one here still looks a little patchy. But if you look at this shade here versus it up here, that blue though, holy crap, I got it all over my finger. It's a very chalky type shade. Let me get that off my hand before I smear it on something else I don't want it on. I didn't use this entire row. Okay, so this shade looks about the same, wet or dry. This shade here is definitely more richly impactful. Same with this one here. If you look at the swatch, it's definitely a little bit richer of a yellow, and yeah, I think the pigmentation on it is nice. This is why I like doing like differences with my swatches, because I want to show you the versatility of the palettes, but I also want to show you that you can use these Nomad palettes wet or dry. Really had any issues. Like this one down here looks patchy, but it really didn't go on patchy on the eye. That was one of the shades I did use when I did the first 4 looks. The red shade isn't as like rich as I would have expected. It's more of like a muted like red shade, and the shimmer barely shows up in it on the skin. But it's a nice red shade. It's just not as, what you see in the pan is a little bit different than what you get when you put it on the skin. That's the only shade in here that I find that is not true to color from the palette. The orange shade, the yellow shades, they are pretty accurate to like what you see in the palette. So I don't have any issues with it. Just a little bit of fallout when I was working with some of the matte shades. I don't have any issues with the shimmers. You can use them wet, you can use them dry, you can use them with your finger. Again, you can even use the matte shades with a wet brush, and they work perfectly fine. I didn't use this blue row here, and I didn't use these 2 shades. I have used all the rest of them in the palette though. So if this is helpful, let me know. I like doing these swatch videos. I also like including outside video, be it in the shadows of the trees in the yard or in direct sunlight, so you guys can get a better understanding of what these colors are going to look like in different lighting. We're in fluorescent lighting here. I've got a ring light overhead which has LED lights in it. I've got 2 fluorescent bulbs out of the 3 overhead over my mirror. So, and those are the only lights in this bathroom. So when those burn out, it gets really dark in here. But I like showing the difference between the inside lighting and going outside and showing you what these look like in natural sunlight. For the simple reason that color in this lighting is going to look different than it does outside. Just like outside lighting, if you do your makeup outside, it's going to look different when you go inside, depending on whether it's like fluorescent or incandescent type lighting. It's all going to look different from light type to light type. So hopefully this is helpful. This is the Marrakesh palette from Nomad Cosmetics. This is a beautiful palette based on the region in Morocco. I actually have friends from Morocco, so I knew about, the region. I knew about the color stories and stuff like that. The color story for this palette is spot on for the region. You would expect to see colors like this in the clothing and the fabric choices, the tiles on the walls, in the bathrooms, in the mosaics. You'll expect to see these kinds of shades in places in Morocco. So this is a very appropriate color story for the region of the world, and I appreciate the stories that Felicia and her husband put behind each of the palettes, between the travels there, the talking with the people, the getting the colors for the regions correctly, incorporating names and places inside the actual palettes themselves. And it, I don't know, I love the story behind the palettes. The colors make sense, that kind of thing. They actually really do their research and they take the time to do things right. They don't just throw a bunch of colors on a palette and go, here you go. There's actually serious thought that goes behind this. So, all right, here we are outside. My battery's flashing at me. We are underneath the trees in the front of the house. Here are the outside swatches under tree cover or shaded cover of the Marrakesh palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Why are you focusing on the palm tree? I'll do direct sunlight swatches or video in just a second. Here we have, I guess we're not direct sunlight. I had to move because the concrete's burning my feet. I gotta move back. I'm trying to sit down so my feet aren't on the concrete. Let's try this. Ow, ow, ow. If I can't stand on the hot driveway, you know it's hot. I can stand on just about anything. Anyways, yeah, it's hot. So hopefully you guys like this. If you do, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. I'm gonna have to use that blue shade with a brush to see if it really is that patchy on the eye. I'm rotating through all of my palettes right now, so I've already done looks with this one, but definitely I will have to come back and revisit it. Any of the palettes I've done first impressions of in the month of May, I will revisit in June. So yeah, I will see you guys in another video very soon. Have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. Bye.